Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. Today I am going to be doing my worst / most disappointing books of 2015, so let's get started. First, I was super disappointed in A Seeker by Arwen Ellis Dayton. I was originally really intrigued by this book. I requested it as an ARC from the publisher and I got approved, so I was really appreciative about that. I loved the cover and the description was just fantasy amazingness, and then I started reading it and the writing style was just weird, and it just, like, the way that stuff was set up was just very annoying and odd, and I did not appreciate it. And then after the first couple of chapters, it switches from this fantasy amazingness to this really high-tech sci-fi spaceship thing, and I was just like, what in the heck is going on? And I had to DNF it at like 20% because I was so confused and it just was not what I signed up for at all. Next, I was pretty disappointed by Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. I mean, this is a fairy tale retelling, which you guys know I love, and it just sucked really bad. It was odd. Now, I don't have a thing against odd books, let me tell you guys. I'm down for the weird, crazy, kooky, odd books, but when a book is odd and it just makes the plot worse or it does nothing for the plot or the storyline, it frustrates me to all heck because it's not contributing anything to the story. It's not moving the story along, it doesn't make it a better read, none of it. And that's exactly what Cruel Beauty was. It was just freaking weird, and the problem in the story was fixed in a way that didn't even make sense. And me and Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophile read this for the Once Upon a Read Along, and we both just hated it so much, and it was super disappointing because Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite fairy tales, and I was so looking forward to loving this book, and it just didn't happen. Then I was super disappointed by Incan Bone by Rachel Kane. This is about the Library of Alexandria. What if it had not burnt down? And what I was expecting from this book is exactly opposite of what I got. And what I basically was expecting was the Library of Alexandria didn't burn down, and now we have all of this extra knowledge that we didn't have before, and we're in an alternate future, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, and it's lovely, and we just have all this knowledge, and we are so much more advanced than we would have been if it had burnt down, and it's just a great thing, and it's just not what happened at all. What really happened with Incan Bone is that the Library of Alexandria became this huge power in the world and basically like took over everything, and that is not what I signed up for. And then there was like this whole fantasy aspect of it. Like, if this is a alternate future or an alternate present, I guess, because the past changed, then why is there this fantasy aspect in it? And I just wasn't on board with that. I wasn't appreciating it. So I DNF'd this. I read it up to like 50%, and then I read the last chapter just to see how it ended, and then I put it down. So I kind of cheated in finishing it, but I just wanted to know how it ended, and like, I didn't even need to read the last half of the book to get it. Like, it was just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. I had really high hopes for this book. I mean, it's beautiful, and it's about a library and books, so I just really thought that I would be sold, and I wasn't. I love that it's got like this gold, like, leaf, not gold leaf, but like, it looks like the binding is in gold, but it's not. It's just the cover, and then the edges or the spine has like the sections, even though it's not real. It just looks like it's an old book, and I had lots of high hopes for this, and I was super disappointed that it sucked. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell sucked really bad. I know that so many people have so much love for this book, but I just could not relate to Kath at all, and I didn't like, I just felt like some of the things that Rainbow Rowell wrote was just so stupid. Like, Kath and her sister's name, Kath and Ren, like Catherine, like, really? I don't know. I was like, that's the most stupid thing ever. I just couldn't relate to the fan fiction. I couldn't relate with how unoriginal the story was, so like Harry Potter. I don't know. I haven't read the Carry On book, so I don't know how similar Harry Potter is to the whole that thing in the fangirl world. but I just felt like it was super unoriginal, and she was trying too much to relate it to a girl in our modern day, and I couldn't relate to it. I couldn't relate to it at all, and it was just super annoying, and and the last book on my list is Sarafina by Rachel Hartman. Again, I was convinced that I would love this book, and it didn't happen. You know, it's got dragons, and it's fantasy, and I thought it was going to be a surefire win for me, and it was just really confusing. There were lots of characters in this story that had titles, and then sometimes they would be called by their title, and sometimes they would be called by their real name, and it was just, you don't know who the person is, and it was just super confusing. And I listened to this on audiobook, and the narrator was, or the voice actress or whatever, she was just really hard to understand at times. Like, her accent, she had a really, really thick accent, and it was really hard to understand her. And like I said, the titles and the names were just off, and it was really hard for me to remember all of them, especially when the same person is getting called by like 3 different titles depending on who is talking, and it was just really, really confusing. So I was expecting to love this, but I definitely didn't, and that was disappointing. Alright guys, that is it for my most disappointing books of 2015. Hopefully I have less this year than I did last year, and I kind of like tone my reading and what I think I'm going to like. And I listened to you guys, because a lot of those books, well, except for Fangirl, a lot of those books you guys said that you didn't like either. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! I like it.